Bam! My peoples. My peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know what we doing, man. We talking boxing. We doing what we do. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua is going down tonight. First of all, man, let me say salute to everybody tuning in. Wes Dustin in the building. Damn, I see already a 600-second recipient up in here. The Hydro Grind in the building. Salute, my brother. Yes, sir. My peoples. Happy Friday. Good morning to everybody. Enjoy your breakfast. If you're already having it, Toy Mafia in the building side. Salute, my brother. We getting some Friday night fights. Friday night fights. I see somebody said Jake Paul may upset Anthony Joshua. I've been seeing people say that. I've seen people making bets or placing bets on Jake Paul. I've seen some fighters say something is up. I feel like Jake Paul's gonna win. And the whole narrative about the fight being scripted, I think that narrative is gonna be alive and well up until Jake Paul go to sleep. And even if, right, I think Jake Paul could go to sleep in the first round. And you're still gonna see people say, nah, they planned that. That's not a real knockout. They acting. There's people that will not accept that the fight is gonna be for real, even if they watch it and Jake Paul go to sleep. Wes Dustin, my brother, appreciate you dropping in, man. You know how we doing it. Wes Dustin, you got Jake Paul. Tell me if you got Jake Paul winning this fight, so I could tell you, don't put money on him. The fight is going to be real, and Anthony Joshua is going to knock him out. That's just the reality. And by the way, my peoples, I will be calling it live. Yeah, I know how I do with the commentary. I got a feeling it's going to be Anthony Joshua with a left to the kisser and a right hand right to the toupee. Jake Paul goes down in brutal fashion, ladies and gentlemen. John, you look like an MTV celebrity deathmatch character. So, listen. What do you think about this fight, though? How about that? We know AJ is not stopping Jake, but Jake won't win either. John, AJ in 3. Okay, that sounds reasonable. So, let me say something. Hold on. We know you think it goes the distance? They're going to go the 4-8 rounds? And AJ winning by decision? The Hydro Grind. When I knew it was for real, was seeing Jake's brother reaction without knowing he was being filmed. Looking at Joshua with fear. Literally scared for his brother looking at him. Like he's crazy. Now, honestly, I knew that it was real when they asked AJ. And the reporter asked him, do you think this is crazy? And he had a dead serious face. And he's like, nah, it's not crazy. He believes that he could beat me. So, we got to fight. We're going to see. When I saw him answer like that, I was like, oh, man. This guy's out here feeling disrespected, rightfully so. Like, oh, you think you could really beat me? Okay. We're going to have to put you on. Let you know what's really good. All the predictions and all that stuff, we're going to get that action tonight. We know. You went from Tank to AJ. Come on, bro. Jake will survive 8 rounds. See, I know that people making the correlation from Tank to AJ, but you got to remember, Tank was an exhibition, and this is a real fight. There you have it. There's a big difference. That was an exhibition because Tank was too small. No sanctioning body was gonna sanction that as a real fight. But this one over here, Jake easily goes over 200 pounds. Easy makes the heavyweight, which he did. So we got a real fight on our hands. But I'm gonna remind you that months ago, Jake Paul said that AJ was washed and that he could beat him. He really believed that. The Hydro Grind. This is a real fight, my people. Al Booger. Jake is crazy for this. He crazy. That's why I say Jake Paul could go to sleep, in the first round. I'm still giving him flowers. I'm still giving him flowers if he go to sleep in the first round. Because he had the audacity to step in the ring with a two-time heavyweight champion of the world in Anthony Joshua. Nobody thought he would. The Hydro Grind. He survived if he runs for his life and makes it super boring. But here's the interesting thing about it. Watch this. I want you to consider this. Jake Paul was sparring with Shakur Stevenson. Y'all remember that, right? And you guys know that Shakur, clearly the best defensive fighter of this era. Damn near untouchable. So what is Jake Paul learning from Shakur? You think about it, Jake himself is a lot bigger than Shakur, a lot stronger. A big difference in weight. Yes, Shakur, I'm pretty sure, outboxed him in sparring. Outboxed him easy. So he gets to see firsthand on him how the smaller fighter can have success. Even without the disadvantage in reach and in power. He saw Shakur outboxing him. So he's going to try some of those same techniques on Anthony Joshua. Of course, he can't be as advanced as Shakur, but he still understands the movement, the angles, the jab, the things that Shakur was doing on him. He's going to try to emulate on AJ. Only obviously he's not on that level. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. The Hydro Grind, it's a win-win for Jake, of course. Win-win. You go to sleep, you still winning. Siam, AJ in the third, with a body shot TKO. Ooh. It could be a body shot, but I don't know, man. I envision a 1-2 right in the melon that sleeps him brutally. I don't envision Jake Paul going down on the knee. He can't get up. I see a Francis Ngannou type of knockout. West does it. Not enough time for that muscle memory to set in a dangerous situation. Sian Kun, Shakur got brittle hands. That hasn't stopped him from doing anything, bro. Think about it. Sian, world champ. Jake, AJ seems nervous. I don't know how you get that, bro. I didn't get that at all. And if anything, Jake seems scared to death to me. When he was doing all that, putting his belly forward, going like that, he looks scared as hell. You know why? Because he don't do that. That's not something that we see him do in every fight. In every fight, he plays tough. This time around, he's playing friendly and joking around and playing the clown. He's scared to death. That's out of character for Jake. To me, that's how I looked at it. Like, damn, this guy's scared to death. He looking for a way to not seem nervous. The Hydro Grind, I see it to the melon too. That's what I'm talking about. Shot to the weight piece. Sorry, nah, Jake. Jake gotta go to sleep. Lou Diggity, AJ doesn't seem nervous. In my opinion, I see AJ, if anything, I see AJ real calm and just ready to unleash some pain. That, I'm telling you, that's what I see, bro. Mr. Tommy Gunn, 1979, my G, please let your mind know I'm a proper fan of the channel and a regular here. Don't need to be timing me out. I don't know what you said, bro. You must have said something wild. But my peoples, Mr. Tommy Gunn, he do his boxing thing. North Star, I broke my back. My back is broken. Whoa, Mike Tyson in the building. Is it spinal? Mr. Tommy Gunn, 1979. Joshua gets a lot of stick in the UK for being a fake roadman or poor character. He's not that well liked by a lot of boxing fans here. Facts. You know, I've actually heard that about UK fans, and I don't understand that. To me, Jake seems like a likable guy. Like, he comes across like a likable guy. So I don't get that at all. Jake is scared. For sure, he looks scared to death to me. With all that acting funny, acting a clown, scared to death. And then bringing AJ to his house for a photo shoot, man, he looks scared to death. He's like, yo, let me play cool with this guy. Maybe he don't beat me up so badly. Cyclone. How is this fight sanctioned with the weight difference? Wait a minute. The weight difference is not a problem because, remember, heavyweight, you're going to see a weight difference like that. We've seen it a bunch of times. A bunch of times. We've seen disparity of over 30 pounds in the heavyweight division. Because remember, there's no limit. So once you get to the heavyweight division, it doesn't matter how far you go over. Mike Tyson used to be fighting guys who was outweighing him by 25, 30 pounds. So the weight difference is not a problem for sanctioning as long as you made the heavyweight division. You see the Tank Davis versus Jake Paul fight, that would not have been sanctioned because clearly Jake Paul would not have been able to make Tank's weight and Tank would not be able to make Jake Paul's weight. So that was going to be an exhibition. Jake Paul can make heavyweight. So the difference, that's not a problem. I mean, it's going to be a problem for Jake, but not as far as the rules. The Hydro Grind. Mr. Tommy, if you talk nonsense, you get hit with a 24, 24, 24. Wes Dustin, Joshua, 1-2. Is one of the best in the game. That bum. If that right hand land flush, you getting slept. Bill's family. I think this will go the distance. Damn. So let me ask you a question, Bill's family. Do you think it goes the distance because Jake Paul is competitive or he simply fights to survive? A lot of clinching, a lot of running, a lot of punch and grab. Is it going to be that type of fight? Javier, Damon Dragon. Jake will shit his trunks when he see AJ in the ring. He going to be scared to death. And I'm going to tell you something. AJ's punch output can be crazy if he wanted to be, because we're looking at a championship caliber fighter fighting in an 8-rounder. An 8-rounder for Anthony Joshua is nothing. Nothing. In 8 rounds, you know how many punches he could throw? Bill's family, it's going to be unanimous decision. Cam Davies, come on, Joshua. Al Booger, I hope it doesn't get ugly in there. This can go real bad for Jake. It could be a very, very brutal knockout. It could be. Hopefully it's just the type of knockout that he get up right away. Steven Duck Paul is going to knock Joshua out. Listen, if that happened, there's people out there who will become a millionaire today. There's people out there that put $100,000 on Jake Paul. And if he wins, that's like 1.5 million or something crazy. So there's people, you know, there's a lot of people putting money on the underdog. Like, yo, I think something is going to happen. Something ain't right here. Bill's family, I think Jake paid Joshua to act in the ring. You see, this is why I don't see that, Bill's family. Jake Paul is, you know, somebody who's lower level and he got a lot of money. People feel that way. But Anthony Joshua, in his whole career, has never done anything to make us believe that he's down with the circus show, that he's down with the goofballery. This guy, you know, 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, the guy with the amateur pedigree, Olympic gold medalist. There's nothing about Anthony Joshua that tells me he's going to take money from Jake Paul to act in the ring. And let me also point out, this guy's wealthy. Anthony Joshua's been making millions and millions of dollars per fight, selling out arenas for a long time, my brother. If you're telling me that he's retired, down and out, broke, then I'm telling you, yeah. Something's up. He need money. He need a payday. But bro, Anthony Joshua got that generational wealth. He's never going to have to work a day in his life when he retires. If he chooses to retire right now, he'll never have to work a day in his life. His family don't have to work. He good, bro. So take it into account, a stand-up guy who got a lot of money, who is young, who got pride. Nah, I don't see it happening. I see him knocking him out. Amir, Tate versus Chase. I don't know, man. I don't know about all that. Cam Davies. Joshua will gas out in the later rounds. So it has to be early stoppage. Cam Davies. It's an 8-rounder, bro. When you think Joshua's going to gas out? It's only an 8-rounder. You think a championship caliber fighter is going to gas out for an 8-rounder? Not happening, bro. I promise you. You're never going to see a fighter who's been fighting at that level gas out in no 8-rounder. The Hydro Grind. Yo, Al Booger. I've been thinking about the same thing. Hopefully this circus doesn't end badly. We shall see. Sai Usyk versus Fury was a 60 weight advantage. Yo, listen, trust me, we've seen way more weight difference than this a lot of times. A lot of times. There's a lot of examples. George Foreman outweighed opponents regularly by over 40 pounds. So it's not about that. He made the heavyweight division. That's it. That's all there's to it. Dodge your ground. You don't play with fire, and you can't play boxing. You definitely don't play no boxing. That's for sure. Bill's family. It's only 8 rounds. Joshua will have plenty of gas, of course. For an 8-rounder, yo, you put a championship caliber fighter in an 8-rounder, and they're going to let them hands fly. You're going to see it. Shaku hands, salute, my brother, in the building. Underrated Will, in the building, representing. Joe Potter, I think it's going to be a great fight. Who do you think wins? Anthony Joshua's going to sleep him. That's the only way I see. The only way I see Jake Paul not getting slept is a 3-way for him to not go to sleep, in my eyes. Number 1, the referee saves him. Number 2, the corner saves him. Number 3, he fights that type of fight where he's going to throw a punch and clinch, move around, get hit with 2 shots, boom, boom, and clinch. And it's going to be clinch, run, punch, and grab. If he turns it into that, then he could survive. But if he's actually going in there trying to win this fight, I'm going to fight him, he get knocked out. Brutally. Quite brutally. Cyclone. Do you think Joshua will carry Jake the same way Floyd carried McGregor? I don't think so. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think so. Because Jake Paul was really out there talking about he can beat Anthony Joshua. And I believe that AJ is feeling disrespected. AJ's feeling like, this guy really thinks he could beat me. I'm going to teach him a lesson. And look, I've seen him already in interviews saying, if I could knock him out in the first 10 seconds, I will. And I'm not saying that he's going to do that. Come on now. No, I'm not saying he's going to knock him out in the first 10 seconds. You think about that. Jose, what if he bite his ear? Got Tyson style in him now. Now, we're not going to see none of that. We're going to see a boxing match. Remember, AJ's no clown, my people. AJ's not a clown. That was a good break, but let's get that dummy out of here. Dummy wanted attention. Gentry. AJ sleeps Jake. Whoa, Jose Cole. Nah, Jake. Easily. Look, man. What is supposed to happen is that Jake Paul goes to sleep brutally. That is what's supposed to happen. Just look at the two guys that are fighting. Look at their entire history inside the ring. Look at their experience. Jake Paul's supposed to go to sleep with a right hand to the dome piece in brutal fashion. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Cyclone. I don't think Jake believes he's going to win. He's just trolling. That's the thing, man, that Jake does so much trolling. Because look, when he goes out there and says, I'm the best fighter in the world, I'm the best fighter, I'm the number one, I'm the best fighter ever since such and such. Obviously, he's trolling. Obviously, he's trolling. But does he believe that he can win this fight? It's possible. It's possible that he believes it. But if he does believe it, yo, the first punch he eat, he's gonna know I'm cooked. He's gonna know right away. Bill's family, Jake is going to test himself for survival with a lion. Javier, the odds are for AJ KO are minus 400. I just might bet. Come on, man. Man, and I gotta tell you, again, I give him his flowers. I'm willing to say, you know what? We've been asking Jake Paul to fight a real boxer, and here it is. Here it is. Gentry, it's not a real fight. It's all a gimmick until Jake in the ring and the bell has rung. I don't believe it'll happen. You're going to see it. It's a done deal. See, that's the thing. You don't realize that because maybe you don't like Jake Paul, you're making conspiracies out of thin air. Because this fight was officially announced. This fight is already posted on the box rack that they're going to fight tonight. The venue is already set aside. The network is already announced it. Everything is in play for this fight to happen tonight, my brother. So you're like in an extreme denial. Like there's no need to wait for the bell to ring for you to know that this fight is happening. At this point, I understand if in the beginning you said, nah, this is fake, it's not happening. But at this point, on the day of the fight, after we've already seen the whole training camps, we already seen the venue, we already seen everything, you still think it's not happening, you still gotta wait for the bell to ring. That's crazy, bro. The fight is happening. You can expect it. Angelo, good morning, everyone. Peace and blessings. Salute, family. Bam. Cameron Terrell. Jay, third round, I think AJ wins by KO. Ooh. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. I don't see Jake Paul going the distance or being a type of fight where he quit. Brutal knockout. Oh, wait a minute. We haven't considered that. What if Jake Paul quit sitting in his stool mid-round? People gonna say it was fixed too. Look, that was it right there. They fixed it. Joe Potter, I think the bell rings and Joshua just knocks him out straight away. You know, Joshua actually said that if he could knock him out within the first 10 seconds, he will. Look, man, let me just say, people love conspiracies. The people who love conspiracies, they'll have one no matter what. There's going to be a conspiracy no matter what happens in this fight. I'll give you an example. Let's say round number 1, AJ catches him. Boom, Jake Paul go to sleep brutally. I'm talking about stiff in the floor. They're going to be like, yo, give him an Oscar. That was not a real punch. That blood was fake. He already had it in his mouth. Even like that, they won't believe it's real because that's it. They need a conspiracy. Angelo Maximus. For the Jake Paul organization to keep capitalizing, he has to keep winning. In reality, we all know AJ is the far superior fighter. And AJ is going to beat him. In brutal fashion. No. Look, Angelo, let me tell you something. For the organization to keep capitalizing, you say he has to keep winning. That's not true. He doesn't have to keep winning. He lost to Tommy Fury. And when he lost to Tommy Fury, who isn't even considered a real boxer, a lower level boxer, his star power just kept going up. Even with the people who say, look, he got exposed, he lost to a lower level guy, blah, blah, blah. Right now, he's a lot richer and a lot more famous than he was when he lost to Tommy Fury. He lost. So losing is not going to take away from him. If anything, losing to AJ, people just going to give him flowers. I already gave it to him. Like, damn, yo, he had the balls to step in there with a two-time heavyweight champion of the world. No shame in getting knocked out by him. So he's going to lose, and his stock is still going to continue to rise. Underrated Will, Jay Smith, what to pick for tonight so we can get that money? Bro, AJ by stoppage. Get that money. George, bonjour, salute family. Al Booger, I love the conspiracy theorists. They always got one. Always got one ready to go. Bill's family. Or they throw in the towel for him because Joshua might cause him to have a serious cut to the face or bleeding nose. That's why I said, that's one of the ways that he can get out of a brutal beating. The corner stops it, or the referee. Because that can also happen. He goes into a shell. Boom, 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 boom. So the referee stops it. Something like that too. Jemchi. What is this goofy on about? The Hydro grind. His brother in the WWE, he probably showed him some tricks. George, I don't speak French, my guy. English or Spanish, whichever one you can handle. Gemtree, this poor guy thinks AJ knocking Jake out would be a conspiracy theory. Someone take this goofiest phone. Shackle hands. And he was talking about YouTube community. He's growing his brand. Angelo Maximus, true. Cyclone, in your opinion, was the Mike Tyson fight scripted? Looked like Tyson held back his punches. No, that fight was 100% real. Tyson did not hold back his punches. It looked that way because people not understanding that he damn near 60 years old, doesn't have the reflexes anymore. And when it looked like he was holding back his punches, it was actually him pulling back because he was outside of range, and throwing a punch and missing was going to take the little bit of gas that he had in his tank at his damn near 60-year-old body. So he was not pulling back punches. I refer you to Michael Jai White, who gave the perfect explanation of this. People don't understand when you get older, you don't have the same reflexes anymore. That fight was 100% real, and I predicted that Jake Paul was going to beat him up. If anything, the only part that didn't play out the way it should, Jake Paul could have knocked him out. And he held back because that could have been problems. That could have been problematic. If he hurt Mike Tyson, there was people in that arena that were like, yo, if this dude hurt Mike Tyson, we're going to have a situation over here. So if he would have knocked out Mike Tyson brutally or something like that, Jake and his team was going to have a problem leaving that arena without some type of misunderstanding. It was a smart business decision to carry Mike Tyson at the end of it. The idea that Mike Tyson could have knocked him out if he wanted to is because people, they got fooled into believing in those 30-second videos that they was posting on Mike Tyson. And they don't realize that when they was clicking on the pause button on that camera, Mike was like, damn near dying. Mike Tyson got pulled out of a plane in a stretcher like a month before fighting Jake Paul. Yo, he was horrible health issues. Mike Tyson got no business in the ring with a 20-something-year-old. In boxing, my peoples, you'll never see a 50-year-old, 58-year-old boxer beating a 26-year-old. You just won't see it. You're thinking about the old Mike Tyson. Father time is undefeated, my peoples. Never forget that. Matthew Jones, Joshua will take a fall for the dough. I don't know why would you feel that way. AJ to me comes across as a stand-up guy, as a no-nonsense type of guy, as a guy who's fought and went down on his shield, two-time heavyweight champion. I think that perspective, Matthew, is disrespectful towards AJ. Like, why would you believe that he would do something like that when there's nothing about his career that would say that? Not to mention the guy has a shitload of money. AJ's rich. He's wealthy. Why would he take money to lose to a YouTuber when he got a lot of money? Jose Cole, if Jake does him like Usyk, I don't know, man. Jake, Usyk, that's tough to make that comparison. Javier, the ref will save Jake's life. Bill's family, Joshua got plenty of money. He wouldn't take a fall for it, but that's what I'm saying. Joshua got a shitload of money. Why are you going to take a fall to Jake Paul when you got money? That's what I said earlier. If you tell me that Anthony Joshua was a retired fighter and he's struggling financially, then it would make sense. This guy got money that he don't know what to do with it, man. The Hydro Grind, he's growing MVP to create a platform for his boxers. Eventually, he'll be able to do MVP events without him headlining and probably keep the Netflix deal. The Hydro Grind, let me explain to you something, my brother. He already has that platform. Jake Paul never has to box in his life. He already have it. MVP is already built. They already have a bunch of championship fighters, and they're even leading the pack in women's boxing. That's it. MVP is established. Jake Paul, here's what I see as a problem, but not in Jake Paul's mind. If you look it up, I think it says it in his own Instagram. Priority number one, Jake Paul as a boxer. Priority number two, MVP in the roster. So all these championship fighters, all these boxers, they got to take a back seat to his circus show boxing career. He's the guy with the money. He's the celebrity. Look, Alicia Baumgartner is going to fight tonight. A championship fight. And Jake Paul is the main event in an 8-rounder. You were the main event in an 8-rounder. Let that sizzle in your spirit. So I would say Jake Paul on MVP Promotions would be kind of like Puff Daddy on Bad Boy Records. Everybody know Puffy couldn't sing for shit, couldn't rap for shit, but he had other rappers write for him. And in Mace's own video, Mace was number 2 and Puffy was number 1. That's Jake Paul in the boxing game. He can't fight like none of those women. He's not elite or a champion like none of those women. But he's going to put himself in front because he's the famous guy. In reality, he should be not even on the undercard. He should be on the prelims. The cards that he put together, all these championship caliber women, Jake Paul should be on his prelims instead of the main event. Jose Cole, yeah, in up, man, he was 49 looking good. At 60, still dangerous because it's him. But definitely because he reserving the gas tank. My guy, Mike Tyson, at 60 years old, if you put him in the ring with another 60 years old, he will beat the crap out of him. He will brutalize somebody his age. But if you go to a gym and you find 10 boxers that are 25 years old and weigh 200 pounds and been training in boxing for 5 years, all 10 of them beat the shit out of Mike Tyson. You look for 10, 25 years old, randomly in any boxing gym. You've been boxing for 10 years, let's go. Oh, no, 5. Like Jake Paul, who been boxing for 6, 7 years. You go to any gym and you get a heavyweight that been boxing for 5 years and is 25 years old, they'll beat the shit out of Mike Tyson. That's the reason why Jake Paul beat him. Bigger, stronger, and way younger. The Hydro Grind, the prelims of an amateur boxing event. He could be in the prelims. That's it, right? That's about it. But because he's the guy with the money, he's gonna put himself up front. The same way Puff Daddy was putting himself up front of the rappers that actually had the talent, Jake Paul putting himself up front of the boxers who actually have that championship caliber talent. The reality is the reality. Roscar David, let's be honest, you're a dummy. And we gotta get dummies out of here. Another dummy bit the dust, my peoples. I don't like your dummy comment. I don't like your dummy attitude. And I don't like you, dummy. Shaku hands. Jake is the star, though. But that's what I'm talking about. Jake's, I would say, the way that he's moving is to build himself up. You know, he's building up the brand, but he's the face of his brand, and he's always going to put himself up front. The same way, that's why I compare him to Puffy. Puffy put himself up front of Bad Boy Records. Eventually, when Bad Boy went to shit, Puffy was the superstar already. Cyclone, where do you rank Usyk with all-time greats? It's hard for me to do that off the top of my head like that. I really have to think about it. But I will tell you right now that I'm probably putting Usyk in the top 20 all-time greats. And when I say top 20, I don't mean he like 18, 19. When I really break it down, he might drop to the top 15. He might drop down to the top 10. He might drop. So I'm saying to play it safe, as a starting point, I'm at least putting him in the top 20. As a safe starting point. Then I'm going from there. Because look at the accomplishments. He became undisputed at cruiserweight and then a heavyweight. So, and you see what he's been able to accomplish. So I have to really analyze that. But Alexander Usyk is without a doubt the best heavyweight of this era. For some time there, it looked like it might have been Fury, could have been AJ. Then when they started to lose, you see Usyk reign supreme. Gotta give it to him. Gotta give it to him. Sai, thoughts on Bud retiring on top? Look, man, Terrence Crawford, I think, is obviously bittersweet because we want to see him fighting again. We wish that he could have, gave us more of that action. But ultimately, fighters have to retire when they want to. They have to be able to say, I'm good, I'm out of here. So when I take away the fact that I still wanted to keep watching him and the fact that I wanted to one day have the opportunity to call one of his fights live, when I take that outside of the equation, I think he had an amazing career and it was a perfect time. Any time that he retired from here on out, it was going to be a perfect time to retire. What better time to do it than right after beating the face of boxing? 310-man rule. Salute, my brother. Bam. The Don, do you think Usyk will fight Wilder? I mean, I don't know. I seen him saying that he wants to fight Wilder. That fight doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. If they fight, obviously I got Usyk winning it. Wilder, he hasn't won a big fight or been a tough opponent in a very long time. And I think he's like between 40 and 41 or 42 years old. I don't remember. But nah, I don't think Wilder can win that fight, to be honest. Jose Cole, Usyk look better. Cruiserweight. I mean, but look at him at heavyweight. He hasn't taken an L. Hasn't taken an L in the heavyweight division and dethroned some big names. Has won some big fights. Not to mention undisputed. The Hydro Grind. Usyk and Wilder Makes no sense at all. I don't get it. I don't understand why would Usyk want to fight Deontay Wilder when Wilder hasn't been a champion in a very long time, hasn't gotten a significant win in a very long time. I think he's lost like what 4 out of the last 6 fights. So I don't know. That fight just doesn't make sense to me. But I don't know. I don't know what's behind it. They want to fight each other. They don't like each other. Maybe giving each other an opportunity. Usyk giving them an opportunity to climb in the big stage once again. I don't know. I don't know what's behind it. But my peoples, tonight we're gonna get some good fights. Jake Paul always puts together a good card. I don't know the fights off the top of my head, but I know Alicia Baumgartner's fighting. And I'm gonna be calling these fights, my people. I'm gonna be calling them. Y'all know how it's gonna be. Cyclone, which boxer do you feel the most overrated right now? Damn, off the top of my head, you put me on the spot, man. It's hard to say. Overrated. Nah, it's hard to say, my brother, off the top of my head like that, because oftentimes we say people are overrated and it turns out they're really good. They're actually really good. And people call anybody overrated these days. So it's hard for me to say somebody who's actually overrated. The Don, who wins, Joshua or Paul? Anthony Joshua's gonna knock him out. That's what I'm expecting. Warrior, good morning. In my opinion, Usyk wants to complete the trifecta of Fury, Joshua, and now Wilder, the heavyweights of his era. Yeah, man, but Wilder is cooked. He's been cooked. You're not, like, nobody's gonna consider that a trifecta right now. It's kind of like, think about this. Larry Holmes beat Muhammad Ali, beat him badly, but nobody gave him credit for that win. If anything, people was pissed off with him. He told the story himself about how fans turned on him after he beat up Ali. And fans would tell him, why you did that to the greatest? Why you did that to him? So, a win over Deontay Wilder, who we saw getting knocked out by Big Bang Zhang, and whose career has been on the downhill. I don't think anybody's going to be like, oh, yes, he completed the trifecta. Cyclone, do you think Usyk beats Klitschko? I don't know. That's a tough one. Because Prime Klitschko, both of the Klitschko brothers in their prime, they could box and they were going to have a huge size advantage on Usyk. So because of that, it's hard to call it. It would have been tough fights. Shaku Hands, yes, that's what I said. But you ain't read my comment, Jay. Oh, shit, man. Missed it. Did you wrong. The Hydro Grind. Cyclone Usyk versus Klitschko would have been amazing. That would have been some amazing fight. Imagine Alexander Usyk versus a guy like Lennox Lewis with that size difference. You know who I think beats Usyk if they're both in their prime? Evander Holyfield. I got Evander Holyfield beating everybody from this era in his prime. I don't see no heavyweight in this entire era that beats him. Side, Usyk used to spar Klitschko. They're both from Ukraine. So you imagine him going up and sparring with a guy like that. What type of experience he got. A lot of the people don't understand this. A lot of fighters that we don't even imagine know each other, have hung out with each other, have sparred with each other, have trained in the same gym. A lot of times fighters seeing each other in the amateurs and we don't know about it. Because look, when did we basically found out the other day that Sean Porter beat Usyk in the amateurs? We would have never imagined that. And yet it happened. Evander and Usyk are the only cruisers to heavyweight undisputed champs. Evander Holyfield, man, that was one of my favorite fighters to watch. in a way, the way he fought on the inside was similar to Terrence Crawford. His counter punching was very similar to the way Terrence Crawford did it. And watching him was just fun. I remember feeling so hurt the first time Evander Holyfield lost, which was to Big Daddy Riddick Bowe. Warrior. I can see Usyk beating Vladimir, but not Vitaly. I don't know. Honestly, those are tough matchups because of the size difference. I just know that it would be some real good, entertaining fights. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Now, like I said, Evander Holyfield, in his prime, I don't see nobody in this era messing with him. Good fights. I'm not saying he's going to wash everybody, knock everybody out. But just his style of boxing. Think about this. If you look at Evander Holyfield, as a heavyweight, if you look at the way he moved, his mechanics, and I'm talking about while he was still younger, you know, not at the end of his career. This guy fought like a welterweight. Like if you see his, because normally you guys know heavyweights are slower, the way that they move, the way that they operate, they're slower because they're a lot bigger. Evander Holyfield looked like a welterweight out there, yo. The way that, the way that he was moving and hopping on his toes and the counter punches and the little step back, bang! Yo, Evander Holyfield was different, my peoples. Those who didn't watch the real deal Holyfield, you just don't understand what this guy was about as a heavyweight. Special fighter to watch. Amas, Tuporia, that's enough to identify you as a dummy. You could take 24-hour break, come back tomorrow, and talk about boxing, dummy. 24, bam. Cyclone, Teofimo versus Record. Who do you have winning? And what's intriguing about that fight? Listen, Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez. I am going to make that prediction on Box Center 2.0. Make sure you subscribe. What's my other phone? Hold on. I'm going to drop the link. My peoples, I'm going to drop the link for Box Center 2.0. Make sure you subscribe because very soon I will be dropping my official Jay Stradamus prediction of who's going to win between Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. And trust me when I tell you, I already know who's going to win. I'm going to tell you who's going to win. Okay, I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know who's going to win. Trust me. So go ahead, my people. Subscribe to Box Center 2.0. I'm dropping the link right now. And flip that money with me. Okay? If you're going to put some money on this, there you go right there. That's the link, my peoples. Box Center 2.0. Subscribe. Pinned right there. I'm going to tell you who's going to win that fight. So you can flip your money. Side, I already know who you got, Jay Smith. The Hydro Grind. We already know who you got, Jay. I haven't made my Jay Stradamus prediction, yo. You know who Jay got. You said it. You don't know who Jay Stradamus got. You gotta wait and tune in on Box Center 2.0. The Don. Will boxing survive a Jake Paul win if it happens? I mean, boxing will be in shambles for a couple of weeks, but we'll be all right after that. We'll be in shambles for a little bit. But Jake Paul would turn the boxing world upside down if he was to pull off the upset. Of course. Bill's family. You got AJ for sure. I know that. Well, remember, the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez prediction is only going down on Box Center 2.0. And I'm going to tell you who's going to win. Frontline, Smith, Chat, Familia. Salute, my brother. Bam. Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul goes down tonight? This is the question that I'm going to ask y'all. This is the question that I'm going to ask y'all. This is an 8-rounder. 4th round. Is it over or under? Let me know. 4th round. Over or under? Is this fight going to end before the 4th or after the 4th? Side says it's going to end under. I'm not even saying, my people, look. Let me say something. I'm not even saying who's going to win. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. I'm not even saying who's going to win. All I'm saying is over or under round number 4. Side says it's going to end under. The Hydra Grind, under. Bill's family, before the 4th. The Don, before the 4th. Warrior 84, AJ has to represent boxing. Again, KO inside of 3 if it isn't predetermined. Bill's family, AJ break Jake's eye socket in the 2nd round. We getting specific with it. It's going to be a devastating blow. Is it the left hand? Is it the right hand? I think it's going to be a straight right hand. Right to the melon. That's what I'm thinking. Mr. Tommy Gunn, Joshua will not be letting his hands go. Not for that paycheck. Oh, Mr. Tommy Gunn, that's conspiracy. You're diving into the world of conspiracies right there. The leaks, 24, over. They're going to be running around. Gabrielle, you think Jay going to pay AJ to not KO him? I'm not into the conspiracy stuff. This is a real fight, and AJ's going to knock him out. Side, AJ said he believe is left in this fight. Whoa. Some guy, tonight is the night. That's it. It's about to go down. All of these predictions, all of these trash talking points, now they're going to fight. Those who say it's not going to be a real fight, yo, when you watch Jake Paul stiff in the canvas like this, I hope you don't think that's being faked. Okay, wait for me over there. My peoples, y'all already know what it is. This is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. We've been going for over an hour and couldn't even get 30 likes. Salute to the ghost watchers, man. God damn, my peoples, hit that like button. Double tap that screen. Y'all know we cooking. Clinton Eddie, I've been consistent with my viewpoint, which is the fight won't happen. Jake will pull out, but it's looking like I'm going to be wrong. The fight is interesting, though. And look, the fact that you can accept that you was wrong, that's just keeping it real. And I appreciate you keeping it 100. Because if you think about it, at this point, we already have the venue in place. The fighters have already completed their training camp. All of the press conferences have been done. Everything is set. The tickets have been sold to all the thousands of people that are going to be present in the venue. The undercard fighters are ready to go. So this fight is going down. It's going down, and let's see how it plays out. Frontline 33 watching, 22 likes. Smash that like button, my peoples. Come on with the ghost watching, man. Come on, man. Bill's family, salute Jay Smith. Bam, salute, bro. Side, he gonna be laid out, arms and legs stiffened out. The Don, has Fury got 10 million on Jake to win? I mean, I don't know. I saw somebody pay out, bet 100,000 on Jake Paul, and they was gonna win like 1.5 million or something like that. The leaks. Pull out of 90 million? I don't think so, yeah. I don't think so. I don't think this is the type of payday. I would step in there with AJ for that type of payday. I'm not pulling out. And I'll go out on my shield. You could knock me out. Clinton Eddie, yes. If someone was withdrawn, it would already have happened. Thanks for the insight. Salute, my brother. Listen, my peoples. This fight tonight is going to do great numbers because so many people want to see Jake Paul get knocked out. AJ's fans are going to be tuning in. Jake Paul fans are going to be tuning in. Boxing fans are going to be tuning in. Because we're finally going to see Jake Paul fighting a boxer. And how is that going to play out? And I could tell you, Jake Paul is going to be surprised. And here's why. When you train, you could train with somebody bigger. You could train with somebody that's stronger. But here's a part of training that makes it very different than a fight, my people. If you're training and you get hit with a shot and you get wobbled, your opponent stop right away. He's not trying to get you out of it. It's different if two guys are sparring and they don't like each other, they're trying to beat each other up. That doesn't happen a lot in the gym. Where they just let them go. Nah. Somebody get hurt, is getting stopped. And that's what normally happens. Jake Paul get hurt with something by a big guy, he gonna stop punching. You're a paid sparring partner. You're not there to hurt Jake Paul. When you fight for real, your opponent is there to hurt you. So if he wobble you, ain't no timeout. Ain't no wait up. And he's not there pulling his punches to not hit you so hard. Because you're the guy paying him. So Jake Paul could survive a bunch of rounds versus heavyweights. They're not there to beat him up. Now he's going to fight somebody who's there for that. Different ball game. Clinton Eddie, will AJ retire if he gets beaten? What do you think the narrative will be from either camp if they experience defeat? So the narrative from Jake Paul's camp, and we're going to have to give him credit anyways, is like, look, he dare to be great. He dare to fight a two-time heavyweight champion of the world, and he lost. But he tried to do what nobody has tried. You got to give him credit, and it's true. Got to give him his credit. From AJ's side, if he loses, I don't even know what the hell they would say. But I don't see that happening. Supreme Green, Lawn Care, LLC, salute Jay Smith, my brother. Bam! Appreciate you dropping in. You already know, my people, this is another episode of Boxing for Breakfast where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. My peoples, listen, I understand those who feel like Jake Paul got a chance and Jake Paul maybe could win this fight. Not looking good for him, man. Not looking good. He's going to be fighting somebody who's there to put a brutal beating on him. My peoples, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, about 45 to 49 seconds. I'll be back with you shortly. Stay tuned. You know, we talking boxing. By the way, subscribe to Box Center 2.0, man. Right there, you see it pinned on the comments. See you guys in 47 seconds and 50 microseconds. My peoples, we back in the building. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Happy Friday if you're tuning in. Enjoy your breakfast. If you're on your way to work, drive slow, be safe, and enjoy the show, my peoples. Clint and Eddie, yeah, worst case for AJ is if Jake survives the distance. I understand the opinion that Jake only win will be a moral victory, which finally earns him what he's thirsty for, respect, by not dying. So, and I also said that before, if Jake Paul is able to go the distance, he's going to get that moral victory. And he's going to say, look, I went the distance with a heavyweight champion. I went the distance with this guy. So I think that's going to be something that'll help him make a good argument for himself, get the moral, get those kudos. But ultimately, you can't beat this guy. You're not going to be able to. Valerie Brunson. Salute, Valerie. Nelson Tucker. I don't like the fact he got special rules when he fight. Nah, there's no special rules. There's no special rules. That's conspiracies, bro. I don't even know who came up with that. Clint Eddie, yes, sir. Correct. Thanks, big dog. Appreciate it, man. There's no special rules. They're going to fight. It's a normal fight, an 8-rounder, going in the box rec. It's a fight, bro. Now, if you're talking about they was going to have the exhibition, that's different. But this a real fight. I know a lot of people making up conspiracies and assuming, no, it's going to be fake, it's not going to be real, all of that stuff. But I'm telling you, my people, this is a real fight. This is a real fight, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get it twisted. You're going to see some serious action. Trying to tell you, when Jake Paul is laid out, y'all going to be thinking that's fake. That's not going to be fake. He's really going to be knocked out. By the way, my people, this is what I was doing at 5 in the morning. Look, 5 in the morning. 5 in the morning, my people's putting in that road work. Y'all know running goes with boxing like peanut butter and jelly. I was getting in my road work tonight, my peoples. Putting in the miles. Clint and Eddie, it's not an exhibition. It's a sanctioned fight. That's what I'm trying to tell people. This is a real fight. It's going on their record. Somebody's going to get a win on the record. Somebody's going to get a loss. It's real. So there's no, for me, this is for me, my peoples. There's no need for no conspiracy. People can, it's like I told you guys before, man. We're always going to see this in boxing and amongst boxing fans. The group of people that love to make stuff up out of thin air. No, he probably paid them so that he can carry him for 12 rounds so that he won't knock him out or whatever it is. There's people that want to believe a conspiracy no matter what. Clint and Eddie, is it 10 or 12 rounds? No, it's an 8-rounder. 8 rounds. That's why I say when it comes to this fight, AJ's going to be able to put together a good punch output because it's only 8 rounds. Somebody say, yo, AJ's going to run out of gas. You crazy? You're not going to run out of no gas in an 8-rounder. This is a championship caliber fighter. Somebody who's been fighting in 12-rounders for years, although, obviously he got stoppages, it doesn't always go 12, but somebody who's been in championship caliber fights, an 8-rounder, that's a cakewalk. The Don. Are you watching the Andrew Tate fight? No, that's not boxing. Shackle hands, I was out with the running. I was putting in my road work nice and early in the morning, getting it in, putting in the miles, and enjoying nature too. I love running, my people. Go running. If you're not in shape, if you're not going to the gym, at least go running, my people. Do something. Do something for your own health. Clint and Eddie. When was AJ last 8-round fight? Yeah, his output should be a fair bit higher, and AJ will know his capacity. Come on. You think a championship caliber fighter is going to run out of gas in an 8-rounder? Man, listen. In an 8-rounder, AJ probably could throw 200 punches around. 200 punches around for Jake Paul. And look at what he said yesterday. If I see the opportunity, if I could knock him out in the first 10 seconds, I will. I'll knock him out. And remember I said this, guys. If Jake Paul knocks, if AJ knocks Jake Paul out brutally early, people still going to say it was a setup. They're still going to say, nah, something's off. They planned it that way. They won't accept it. They won't accept it. But if we look at the reality of the situation, that's what's supposed to happen, my people. This is exactly what's supposed to happen. Oh, shit. So, when you take a guy with zero amateur background, with limited amount of fights, with no championship experience, and you put him up against a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world with an amateur pedigree, what the hell y'all think is supposed to happen? Done. If Jake Paul doesn't do it round 1, it's fixed. Not necessarily. Not necessarily round 1, because Jake Paul can get in there and go into moving and clinching. Punch and grab. Run and grab. You hit me one time, but I'm grabbing you right away. If he fights to survive, it could without a doubt go multiple rounds. If he fight there to make it, that shit could even go the distance. Clinton Eddie, especially with an opponent that's smaller, so no leaning and holding to tire him out. And that's the thing, as the smaller guy, Jake Paul is going to be able to move around the ring. If he decides I'm going to run and I'm going to grab and I'm going to survive, he could last a few rounds. Westover. Hopefully everyone gets what they want. And we all know what that is. Yeah, we all know what that is. I think that's what's going to happen. Anno. Another fixed fight. We all know Jake will win. I think you're going to be disappointed when he goes to sleep, man. You're going to have to find a different conspiracy. Young Flo, Jake Paul got faster feet. That's what I'm saying. He could move around the ring. He could use survival tactics to not go to sleep right away. Don, if he wants to survive, he needs to stay home. Now, if he stay home, he's not going to get that paycheck. You got to survive inside that ring so that back can hit the deposit. Young Flo, Jake going for the jab and straight to the stomach a lot. Yeah, that jab to the body, we're going to see it a lot. When you're the smaller guy, the shorter guy, and you have someone with a lot of reach on you, that jab to the body is important. Because you can duck and throw it and go outside of their punching range when you go low. Young Flo, Jay going to Elite Comp. Drop 2K on Paul. Come on, bro. If you're dropping 2K on Paul, you might as well put it in the toilet and flush it. And watch it swirl down until it disappears into the toilet. He's going to get knocked out. I mean, if you mean drop 2K on Paul getting knocked out, then that's different. But on Paul to win, gonna be a lot of disappointment tonight, man. When you stick with the conspiracy and you make your bets based on conspiracies, you're gonna be losing a lot of money, man. Now we'll be taking a lot of L's. Don, everything Jake Paul knows, Anthony Joshua learned when he was 16. That's right. That's all facts. Pajit, greeting from North Sentinel Island. Waiting for my boy Shakur to fight. Salute, my brother. Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, January 31st. Man, listen, that's one of the biggest fights that I've seen, that I wanted to see in a long time. Looking forward to that. Clinton Eddie, I can't believe how many simple people believe Jay can seriously defeat AJ in boxing match. AJ will be able to knock him even if Jake put his hands on AJ. Just punch the guard and still rattle Jake. Look, a lot of the times that you're seeing people say Jake is gonna win, they're trolling. They don't actually believe that. They're saying something to get an argument started, to get a conversation started, to get attention. Maybe it could be someone that's lonely at home, don't even got nobody to talk to. Let me go in here and say something so that people could start arguing with me. Stuff like that. There's not a lot of people like that who actually believe Jake Paul is gonna win the fight. That's cap. Wilby's Comfort Omaha. Damn, bro, that name is long as hell, bro. I can't read that. Wilby. Fake Paul going down. That's how I see it. Unfortunately, I see Jake Paul going to sleep in brutal fashion. Northside, AJ is going to punish Jake Paul. No more rigged fights. You're going to punish him. That's why people think that this... Damn, man, I see AJ being disrespected so much. People think that this guy is going to take some money to get knocked out, or that he's going to involve himself in a fake fight. Y'all going to see AJ brutalizing Jake Paul. That's the type of attitude that he's going out there with. Wilby, who's the new face of boxing now that Crawford has exited the game? I mean, no, Crawford is still the face of boxing. You gotta understand, he exited the game. It's not like the title gets passed down. We gotta see now, there's gonna be multiple people fighting for that title. But right now, Crawford's still the face of boxing. I would say you're gonna see Shakur, Teofimo. You're gonna see Devin, possibly Tank, if he's not gonna retire. You're gonna see a few fighters who will be gunning for that spot. David Benavidez also is one of those guys. Virgil Ortiz. Like, there's a group of fighters who can all aspire to become the next face of boxing. We just got to see who gets the biggest wins first. You see, that's why it's important for Shakur to get that fight with Teofimo Lopez, and for Teofimo to get that fight with Shakur. Because them fighting each other for whoever the winner is, it's a big win. It's a monster win. So in that race to see who's going to be the next face of boxing, is going to be about this group of fighters, who's going to stand out first. Shakur's going to stand out with that big win over Teofimo Lopez. But then let's see what Devin is going to do. Let's see what Tank Davis is going to do. Let's see what Jerome Busan is going to do. Let's see the Mexican Monster. So all these guys, they have a shot. Because they have already the star power. And they're very popular. Not just amongst hardcore boxing fans, but casual fans know these fighters too. Brian, if AJ doesn't finish him inside 3 rounds, the fix is in. Nah, J. Paul can fight to survive and he can make it. Wilby, I agree with you. The Don. And AJ took the Usyk loss bad, and he still got a lot of anger from that L. Of course, man. You saw he made himself look like a fool when he grabbed the microphone. Like a fool when he was ranting. Unfortunately, Jake Paul is going to be the one to pay for that. AJ's misfortunes, AJ's the one Jake Paul's the one that's going to deal with that. But it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be entertaining to see how is it going to play out. I already told you, you're going to see Jake Paul using that footwork. I know Shakur helped him out. Shakur gave him some tips. You're going to see Jake Paul using the footwork, thinking I could move around, make him waste some energy, and pick my shots. It's not going to work. AJ's going to beat him up. We made for TV. Y'all do know Jake Paul is going to run around the ring to survive and hope he don't get punched. That's what he's going for. He's going for survival mode. Northside, who you got on the undercard? Honestly, I have to check it out. I have to check out the whole undercard. I just know Alicia Baumgartner is fighting for, putting her titles on the line. That's it. The Hydro Brand, give us a snippet of your narrative, of you narrating the KO. So this out, the KO is going to play out. I feel like Anthony Joshua is going to catch him with either the good old 1-2 right down the pipe or a counter right hand. So here's the commentary on the right hand. Jake Paul misses with a right hand. Anthony Joshua counters him with a right hand to the mouthpiece, a left hook to the dope piece, and another right hand to the wig piece. Jake Paul goes down in brutal fashion, ladies and gentlemen. He's stiff. He's laying down on his back. AJ celebrating. The crowd is going wild. Devastating blow, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the humanity. There you have it, my brother. That's how I think it's going to play out. We made for TV, yeah. He hoping to tire AJ out, but Jake is going to gas out before AJ does. That's the thing. Anthony Joshua's a championship caliber fighter. And he's going to be involved in an 8-rounder. You're not going to gas him out in no 8 rounds, bro. My God. Anthony Joshua probably has the physical shape to throw 200 punches around for 8 rounds. Come on now. The Don, are you doing a watch along? My brother, I call all the fights. All the big fights, I give you the commentary. And when I say commentary, I'm talking about punch by punch. You could close your eyes and you're still going to be watching a fight if you're listening to me. Shaku hands, the humanity. That's when you know, when you hear me yell that out, you know that they're out there inflicting bodily harm. The Hydrogon, that commentary had me jumping. I'm trying to tell you, that commentary is going to be different. Damn, my people, my dream come true would have been doing live commentary on a Terrence Crawford fight. That would have been my dream come true. That's not going to happen. You never know. Maybe Crawford does an exhibition and I could do that. Northside, who do you got in the Alicia fight? Honestly, man, I don't know her opponent like that. So it's hard for me to make an educated opinion. But I'm rocking with Alicia Baumgartner just off of the fact that she's one of the best female fighters in the world. Aroma Sound, how is someone with 10 fights and no amateur experience going to gas out an Olympic gold medalist in 8 rounds? That's my point. If it's a 12-rounder, it can happen. But an 8-rounder? 8-rounder is nothing. Nothing, AJ. That's easy work. We might see more punches than usual from AJ because it's a short fight. Come on now. Northside, Daniel Dubois' sister is on the undercard. We got to check her out. We got to see what she's about. Devin, how good you think Tiger Johnson is? Off-topic question. What's up, Jay Smith? What's up, my brother? Tiger Johnson, I believe in him. He a real good fighter. I think he has potential to become a world champion. If he got the right team around him, I think that he's going to become a world champion. He's real good. He can fight. The Hydro Grind. You can still join the TKO League and do it, bro. Everything is possible. Keep the dream alive. I mean, everything is possible. And you know what? what you're saying is crazy because a lot of people don't know this, but Dana White, when he hired Joe Rogan for UFC to do commentary for UFC, Joe Rogan didn't know shit about commentary. Joe Rogan wasn't doing any of that kind of stuff. He just a guy who liked fights, who enjoyed it, and who knows how to talk about it. That's it. So Dana was like, yo, come through, you're in. And he ended up being, you know, a guy lifelong with the UFC. So Dana White, he could give me, he's somebody that can actually give me a shot. At some point, I'm going to be like, yo, people, start tagging Dana White, man. Start sending this shit to Dana White. Bring me over there to start calling these fights, giving the color commentary Jay Smith style. Shy guy, Jay Smith with the bow tie. Now I'm going to be different. I'm going to be the color commentary guy with the hat tilted to the side with the black glasses, with the different swag, bro. The different commentary that they never knew they needed. Eric Owens, salute, Jake. It's sad we didn't get the Boots and Buff fight. Yeah, but that ship has sailed, man. Like, nobody's talking about it but Terrence Crawford hater. It's sad that we didn't get Terrence Crawford fighting at 160 and accomplishing more. That's what's sad to me. I wanted to see him become a 6th division champion. Okay, wait for me over there. I'm going to bring it right now. The Don, what do you think of the Eubank versus Ben fight? I predicted the outcome. I said Conor Ben was going to win. You know, that first fight, we saw them go to war. The second fight, Conor Ben was more successful than in the first one, and is actually what I expected. My peoples, I'm going to take a quick 30-second break. My son want his milk, so I got to handle that. I'll be right back, my peoples. Quick commercial break. My peoples, we back in the building. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. And let me give y'all this other new, because when I'm doing commentary, you know, I got a lot of little things that I throw in there, you know, giving it my own style. I'd be like, ladies and gentlemen, they pulling out the heavy artillery. And when they really going at it, you know that I'm throwing all type of shit in there with no regard for human life, ladies and gentlemen. We ready? We ready for tonight? I'm going to be giving y'all the elite level commentary. Will be Boots a weight bully, but won't go to 160 to grab a belt to let be known he wants Crawford. Look, when it comes to Boots and Crawford, all I say is that they had an opportunity to get that fight. They turned it down. And that's all there is to it. I wanted to see the fight just like everybody else. But at some point, I realized this fight is not happening. So I moved on from it. Wilby, Bud will come back for 100 mils to smack the out of Boots. Give him 100 mils and he'll be back. They already put that number out there. They made it clear. So, you want to see me again? 100 million. That's what I need to get paid. My peoples, make sure you subscribe, by the way, to Box Center 2.0. You see it right there, tagged in the comments. New videos drop on that channel, and it's exclusive to that channel. Nothing that you see on Box Center 2.0 will drop on Facebook or Instagram or on this channel or anywhere else. Plus, Goofiest of the Oofiest, the podcast, only goes live on Box Center 2.0 on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. My people, subscribe to Box Center 2.0. Hit that like button. Golly, yo, over an hour and a half, and I couldn't even get to 40 likes yet. Why y'all gotta do me like this, my people? God damn. God damn. Hit that like button, my people. Stop playing with your boy Jay Smith. Now, remember, tonight I will be calling these fights live. So we're all gonna witness how is this Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua saga going to play out. Devin, I'm gonna check out your commentary. Check it out, my brother. I'm pretty sure you're gonna enjoy the show. You can even go back because I've done commentary on all these fights that have happened recently, and you can check out those live and see what I'm about. Eric Gomes, Jay, you need to start getting the big names on your channel. Get some interviews. Yeah, I'm gonna start pushing for that, man. It's been tough because I don't have a huge platform. You know, I'm not a big name. And most of these fighters, they're getting on big platforms. You have a fighter, you know, going on ESPN, going on these other huge platforms. A lot of them, it's hard for them to say, yeah, I'm going to go with Jay Smith now. So it's hard for me to get those type of interviews, but, you know, we working behind the scenes and you're going to start seeing, you know, you may have already seen some fighters come on my show or some trainers or people involved with boxing. And there's some big name fighters, you know, that I've been in touch with behind the scenes that I'm hoping to, in 2026, get a lot of them to come on the show with me. So that's in the works. It's a process. It's real hard to do those things when you're on a small platform, my brother. So ultimately, I'm the one that got to step my game up. I'm the one that has to grow this platform. I'm the one that has to make sure that, you know, people who support me also spread the love, also share the video, share the content, all these processes so that fighters could feel like, yeah, it's worth it. Let me go over there because it's enough of an audience tuning in that's going to be watching. So I just got to keep working, keep grinding, and that's going to happen. My peoples, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. Eric Gomes, Wilby, Devin, JJ Zendejas, Shaku Hands, Jose Cole, Shy Guy, The Don, Brian Walter, Don was in the building, Clinton Eddie was in the Hizzy, Toy Mafia, The Leaks, 24, Bill's Family, Frontline, and everybody else who tuned in, my peoples. I appreciate you guys. You know that I always try to tell you that's what this show is about. That's what Boxing for Breakfast is about. All of us on everything. We're going to disagree on a bunch of different things. And that's what made the conversation interesting. So I appreciate it when you guys can disagree with me and have that conversation and go back and forth. And then tomorrow, here you are disagreeing with me once again. That's awesome. That's fire. So salute to everybody, man. One love. I appreciate y'all. Remember that tonight, we're going to be at it. Tonight, fight night with Jay Smith. I'm going to be calling these fights. Let's see how it plays out. And Boxing for Breakfast tomorrow, we're going to dissect all of this, everything that we saw tonight. So I'll see you guys later, my people. So enjoy your Friday. I'm out of here. Peace.